So in the previous video, we looked at an example of React context. In today's video, we will be seeing another example of React context. So in today's example, we will be having three buttons that will be named, they will have color names, and whenever we press the button, then the output will change according to the colors. So we are basically going to create four components. So first is context.js. So I'm already inside my components folder and my file name is context.js. So first of all, I'm going to import React from React. Next, I'm going to create a const. This is named color context. And I'm going to call react.createContext. Next, I'm going to create a class. Next, we will add the class component. So we will say class color context extends react.context react.pure components. So here we are calling pure component class, and then the state, this state has selected color. So initially it will be set to red. This is the state initially, okay? And now we will write our selector. So this is named select color. Select color, taking the argument color, and arrow function. This here we'll write this dot set state, and inside set state we will pass the argument of selected color, set to color. Now I will add the render. So inside render we will have the return. Now inside this return we will add the provider. So color context dot provider, and I will set the value to select color and assign it to this dot select color. And after this, the second attribute is selected color, and that is set to this dot state dot selected color. And I will change this bracket to curly bracket. Now inside we are going to render this dot props dot children. So that is it for the context.js. Let us move forward. So now what we are going to do is, after the provider thing, we are going to add our const with color context. So const with color context, and here I am going to pass component as the argument. So component, and then going to pass an arrow function. Here we will pass props. The props is assigned to so now we are going to call our color context dot consumer. So color context dot consumer, and we will just close this tag, and after that we are going to render color context props, which is assigned to, so here I am calling component, and inside component I am going to pass the following. So it will have a copy of the previous props, and second argument that I am going to pass is color context props, and then we will close this tag. Lastly, we will export default. We will just export our color context provider, color context provider, and then with color context. Next I am going to create a summary.js file. So inside components I am going to create a file named summary.js. Here again I am going to import React from React. I am going to import with color context from the context.js file, and now I am creating class color summary. It extends React.pure component. Now I will call the render method. Inside render we will have a const. This const has selected color. Selected color, and it is assigned to this dot props. And after this we will have our return method. So inside return we have a p tag. Inside this p we are going to render a text selected color, and we will pass the JS expression of selected color, and we will give an or none. So this we will be rendering, and we will export default. With color context, and with color context is going to take color summary as the argument. Next I'm going to create another file. This will be named options.js. Here I'm going to import React from React. Next I'm going to import color button. We haven't created this color button right now, we will be creating it soon, from a file named button. Okay, so now I will extend the class color option. Color options extends react.pureComponent. Again I will have the render method. Inside render I will have a return. So return has a div. Inside that div I have an unordered list, and inside this list we have an li, that is list items. You can style them using CSS, you can give them a class name and all. I will not be doing that, so we can do that later on. So here color button we are calling that, and here we will assign the color to red. We haven't created the component color button, that is button.js file, we haven't created it right now. We will be doing that soon. After this list we are going to add another list. Here we will again call color button, and the color will be set to green. You can add as many colors as you want. Lastly we will set it to blue. Instead of green, just change that to blue or yellow, whatever color you want. And lastly, export default. Color options. Now we will create the component. Inside the component we will create button.js. So button.js. Here I am going to import React from React. Next I am going to import with color context. From the context file, next class color button extends react.pureComponent. Then I will call the render method. Here I am creating a const. It has attributes color, select color, selected color. And we will assign all this to this.props. Now return. First we will add buttons. So this button it has an on click function. this onClick is assigned to an arrow function. Here we are calling selected color with the argument of color. And we will display the color here itself. Lastly, we will export default the with color context, and we will pass color button as an argument. We will be adding CSS also in all our files today so that it looks better. Now inside the app.js we will be rendering 3 components. So the first one is color context provider. Inside color context provider we have color summary, which we will be importing, and next component is color options. And we will also import both of these from the files, and then we will add the CSS. We are going to add CSS into our project, so let's get on with that. First of all, inside my components folder I am going to create a file. This will be named button.js. Button.css. Okay, so button.css. Now inside button.css, here I am going to add color button, and I am going to give it background of white color, and I am going to give it a border of 5 pixel, solid of gray color. After adding the border, we are going to add some more attributes. So in VS Code you can see that as you type the color name, you can see that color there. So this is a benefit of using VS Code. So the background is white in color and the border is of solid gray color. I will give it a padding of 0.5 em and 1 em. Next I will be adding the min width to 100 pixels, and I will also be adding font size. The font size will be 1 em. Next we will target dot color button, and inside color button we will be having selected, and whatever will be selected that will be having a border color of black color, so that will differentiate. Next I'm going to create another CSS file. So this was for, so next is options.css. Now inside that we will be adding dot color dash options, and inside that a background of light pink color, that is CFC, light mint color, and the overflow will be hidden. It will have a padding of 1 em. Next we'll be targeting dot color options and underscore list. So the list will be targeted. I will give it a float of left, and I will also give it a list styles of none. Next we will be targeting the margin, which is 0, and a padding of 0. Next we will be targeting color options, underscore list items. So inside the list items we will have a float of left and a margin of 0, 1 em, 0 and 0. Lastly, I will create another CSS file. This will be called summary.css. We will be targeting dot color dash summary. It will be having a background of light pink color. So FCF, a padding of 1 em, and that is all about the CSS. Next we will be targeting all the files. So let us go ahead and add these classes. So I'm inside button.js. Here inside the button I'm going to add a class name, and inside the backticks we are going to add color dash button. So that is the class name, and then we are going to add the ternary operator, where we are going to check for the selected color. If it is equals to the given color, then it is going to display, otherwise it is not going to display. So it is going to check for the color, and then it will give the output according to that. So here we will be displaying color, whatever is selected, and if not, then we are going to just display an empty string. And let us just organize this a little bit. We will also import the CSS file inside our JavaScript file. So I'm importing dot hash button.css. Now after this, let us move on to our next file. Now I'm inside options.js. Here inside the div I will give it a class name of color options. The unordered list will have a class name of, it will have a class name of color options and underscore list. We have already added the names inside the CSS file, so we'll just be adding the class name so that we can target those values. Options underscore list, and the li tag will be having list items. So class name color options underscore list dash items, and we will target all the 3 lists. So just copy paste that, and we will import the CSS file at the top. After this, lastly, we will be adding our third CSS file in summary.js. Here we will be targeting the p tag. So the p tag will have a class name of color summary, and after saving all our files, we will be looking at the output. We will also import summary.css inside our main file. Now we will save all our files and we will have a look at the output. So as you can see, the display is selected color. It is initially red. We have set it to red, and if I click on the button green, so it changes to green. Similarly for blue, it will change to blue. The background color is according to whatever we have set it to, mint and light pink, and it has a border of gray and black. So that's it for today, and please like our video, do subscribe to our channel. I'll see you in the next video.